Hi, I'm CJ Altenberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in this morning. So today we've got a new living quarters. This is a cool one. We're really excited to show this one to you. This is a 2022 Cimarron Norstar 4-horse living quarters with an Outlaw conversion. This thing just showed up. We're really excited to show you. It's got a lot of extras, so bear with us. We're going to try to go through everything. We don't want to miss anything, so we're going to get a little detailed and take our time working through this one. First and foremost, let's take a look at the trailer itself, and I'll kind of give you some specs and some information on how it's set up. So again, it's a 4-horse living quarters. It does have a slide out. This is a triple axle. It's 37.6 on the floor. Because this has an enclosed front end that I'll show you, this is actually a 9-foot gooseneck to it compared to the standard 8.2. It is 8 foot wide and it's 7'10" tall with an integrated pod. So now let's talk a little bit about the living quarters side of it. It is a 17.9 short wall. We have a 4-foot offset. It, like I mentioned, has a slide out. We're really excited to show you this layout because you get a sofa and a U-shaped dinette, nice sized bathroom, got a lot of extras on it as well. So we're really excited again to show you this rig. So before we really jump into this, let me hit on a couple other things as well. This is a big trailer. Let's talk about empty weight on it. So empty weight on this trailer, we ran it across the scales after we got it here, so we knew exactly what it weighed. What happens is at Cimarron, on the MSO, it goes across their scale when it leaves. Well, that's just the shell. So then we send it to Outlaw and then have the living quarters put on it. So once we combine everything, empty weight on this trailer was 18,860 pounds. So again, 18,860 empty weight on it. We're talking about an all aluminum constructed trailer, which I'll get into kind of some of those specs when we get into the stall area from Cimarron itself. But you have an 8-year structure warranty from Cimarron. You have a 3-year hardware warranty. So basically bumper to hitch on this trailer. And then when we combine it with an Outlaw Conversions, you get 3 years of warranty there as well. So when we look at combining the two, a Cimarron with that 8 and 3 and then an Outlaw with that 3, this is the only trailer on the market that's covered for 3 years nose to tail. Now some conversion companies will do their craftsmanship warranty for added years, but they don't cover appliances. So if Outlaw puts this on, whether it's a microwave or refrigerator, an Onan generator, if it's covered for 1 year based on the manufacturer, that's what a lot of conversion companies will cover those aspects of the trailer for. To where if Outlaw puts it on, they cover it for 3. So 3 years nose to tail on this trailer, which again, no one else out there in the industry can offer. So really cool trailer. Let's jump into it because again, there's gonna be a lot of stuff we want to talk about here. As you're approaching the front end of this trailer, you'll notice that the dual jacks on it. Well, because of the size of this trailer and then with it as a slide out, anything with a slide out, Cimarron wants to go ahead and put dual jacks on it, which we agree with them there. There's really no reason to put a slide on a trailer and put a single leg, but it does happen here and there. But on these bigger trailers, and again, with the Cimarron with a slide, you're gonna have the dual electric over hydraulic. So you have the ability to have a manual override, which is really important because if you get in an emergency situation, we can get this trailer on or off the truck. If we don't have power, something's up with that system itself, we can do that. So let's take a look at some other stuff underneath here. You've got your aluminum box here that's got 2 30-pound propane bottles. Again, this is a big trailer. Let's carry a lot of propane capacity if we can. So we've got the dual 30-pound bottles. Directly above that is where our batteries are going to store. You see a lot of batteries in here. We have 4 batteries. And one of the other reasons why is, again, this trailer is equipped with air ride suspension, which you'll see the compressor right over to the right of that. Real easy to use. It's as simple as turning on, putting it in the raised position, and you go down the road. If you want to get into a little bit more in-depth video on how this works, we have done some videos of that we can walk you through. We'll kind of talk about a couple things as we're working through it, but again, real simple to use. On in the raised position, you drive down the road. That's simple. Turn it off, roll it to the lower position, and then clear our line here with this cable so we don't have condensation building up in these winter months, freezing, cracking the line, doing any damage like that. The other cool thing about this is this enclosed door here. So now we can go ahead and shut this. Keeps everything nice and clean underneath there. I think it gives it a nice clean finished look to this type of a trailer. And then also we did a 16-inch awning light underneath here. Usually your cargo light in your truck is going to get blocked by the front of the trailer. So let's go ahead, we put this on here. That way if you want to, you can turn it on and off, light up this area. It actually shoots off of this enclosure and kind of lights up the back of your truck when you're hooking up. But again, if you're needing to change something out, you do have a light here. You'll also notice this tube right here. This tube is to actually store our sewer hose. It's up, it's out of the way. You know, this is kind of wasted space anyway, so it's a good place to put it. You know, you're usually fueling up maybe and then driving over to dump tanks, so you're usually working in this area, so it's a good place to put that right there. So on the 22 models, I want you to notice this window up here in the gooseneck, and I'll show you some others as we're working along here. But these are frameless windows. Those are standard on the 22 models. You know, really just a clean look to it. We can do the other style, but this is standard. I think it really dresses the trailer up really nice. You'll notice it. This one's going to be above the sofa that we'll show you on the inside there. But we've extended this extrusion all the way up to the front. Again, it's a big trailer. I feel like in these bigger trailers, if you don't put that and don't break it up, boy, it really looks like a giant refrigerator kind of going down the road. So I think it gives it kind of a nicer look to it when we extend it. You know, on these here at Transwest, we actually try to not do a whole lot of graphics. And the reason why is because the last thing I want to do is put a graphic in here that's maybe got some red or blue tint to it, and then you show up with an off-color truck and then it doesn't match. So we try to leave them as a blank slate for you. We actually do have a graphics company that's a sister company with Transwest that we can get with you, in touch with them. You can design your own logos, you can pick out your own colors, anything like that, and we can have that done to this trailer. So again, we try to keep them like this. You want to add graphics, by all means, you can do that. Now, I'm going to shut this LQ door because I want to show you this door. This is an upgraded door here. This is a Challenger door. This isn't the standard heavy-duty door or a camper style door itself. This thing is massive. It's heavy. You notice this big paddle latch here with the rotary latch. I mean, it's real nice to just go ahead and just, you know, as simple as push. I don't have to slam the door itself. It's not a little one where I'm using a finger or two trying to get in there. You know, it's a nice big latch, but this is an upgraded door, extremely heavy duty. The screen door is even heavy duty. I mean, this is big welded aluminum here. We've got the expanded metal that's protecting the actual screen. So small kids, dogs, anything like that jumping on, you know, they're not hitting that screen door, tearing it up, possibly popping it out. So again, a nice touch right there that we've done to this trailer here. Before we go in, you've got your grab handle. This will light up as well. You have a porch light that I have on. But I want you to notice this RVI certification sticker. That's really important because Outlaw is the last standing conversion company that is RVI certified. RVI certification just means that you can take this trailer to any public or private campgrounds and you'll meet all requirements based on electrical, LP, the plumbing itself, just safety aspects. It is a cost that goes into every single Outlaw conversion. But you know, the folks down there at Outlaw have been strong believers in it. Again, you have the ability to go everywhere. A lot of people, you know, some companies have cut that out to where, again, if you get turned away from somewhere because you don't have that sticker on there, most camper companies and RV companies have this as well. So you can go anywhere. I'd hate for you to be driving long distance, have big family plans, and get there and you get turned away from a campground because you don't have that certification. So that's really important that Outlaw does right there. But now let's take a look at this living quarters because this is a cool setup. We've done a similar trailer to this before. It's sold. We reordered this one. We made a couple little tweaks to it. But again, 17.9 short wall. Here's our slide. In the slide, we opted to put a U-shaped dinette. We try to always put a dinette kind of in the slide out if we can. The reason why is because then we can do a full-size dinette. You know, if you start putting in other places, not to say we can't do a full dinette in other places of these trailers, but it just seems to work a little bit easier to where maybe from a flow standpoint we have to cut the dinette down a little bit. But with it being a U-shape, you can seat quite a few people there. You see this big, heavy-duty, massive single leg. This will actually collapse down, so you can turn this into a bed. So we have a sleeping area here. And then obviously we have our couch. So it's a sofa sleeper as well. I can fold it down. You see the brown with the Cayman accent. That's actually incorporated kind of throughout the trailer as well, so it just really dresses it up. But there's a lot of storage in this trailer. You know, Outlaw does a really good job on, you know, hey, where can we incorporate some things? You see a shelf right there with a lip. So again, you can never seem to have enough storage in these trailers themselves. Nice big 8.0 refrigerator. We went with the bigger refrigerator and freezer on this one than the standard. Just because it's a bigger trailer, you know, it gives you the ability to pack a few more things with you, go on longer trips. You also have up here, and I'll step out of the way here in a minute, but pocket door going into your enclosed gooseneck area. So again, you can have some privacy there when everyone's headed to bed. There is also a 32-inch flat screen TV up there. You'll notice the controls for the generator up there at the front. But again, you have that big flat screen TV. You can get up there, shut the door, have a little bit more privacy, you know, watch a movie, go to bed, and again, be away from everyone down here as well. But it's cool having that additional generator switch up there, just for the reasoning of, hey, in the morning, you know, maybe you shut it down at night, it's nice and cool, you can open up these frameless windows, create some airflow through here, and then in the morning it's a little cooler, you can just reach up and hit that, kick everything on. Here's our kitchen area. We try to keep kitchen areas away from this this gooseneck area where you're going to sleep, but because this is an enclosed front end, we're okay with it, because again, just customer feedback. A lot of customers say, I don't want my feet where the sink is. Well, this is all blocked off, so we're okay with that. But a nice setup here. We have also tried to put a lot of emphasis and worked with Outlaw on just trying to get these sinks bigger and deeper if possible. We just understand that, man, you don't want this big and nice of a trailer and then just have a little sink to possibly try to wash dishes in or try to do anything there. So big, you know, deep, wide porcelain sink there. We also have the cover, so you can use that as a little bit of counter space. Cover for our 2-burner cooktop here as well. Again, when that's down, creates more counter space for you. Convection oven, so you've got that ability to do some different cooking with that capability. And then again, just additional storage. How can we come up with different areas to put things? I mean, here's one kind of hidden right here. Now, there's not a lot of storage space in this because this is going to house one of our furnaces, but you know, you could do some little, you know, little items in there. So talking about 2 furnaces, we have 2 16,000 BTU furnaces in this because it is a bigger trailer. We also have 2 15,000 BTU air conditioners. They're also ducted. Everything's ducted on these Outlaws, which is really important because, you know, we have an enclosure up here, we have this area, we have a bathroom, so it's a big area. So when you have the ducting in the ceiling itself, we can kind of create more of a consistent temperature throughout the entire living quarters itself. We can also shut things down, we can force air in different places, you manipulate where those vents are pointing. So again, it just creates a lot more just consistent temperature when you're in these trailers themselves. Again, talking about some additional storage. This is an upgrade we did. So on both of these here at this dinette area, this U-shaped dinette, we went ahead and did some pull-out drawers. Instead of it just being a cabinet that you got to reach back there in, you know, it's pretty nice to just be able to slide this out. This is a great place for maybe some of those linens 4 of these sleeping areas that you can put. It's out of the way. When you need to break this down, you can slide those out and go ahead and make up a bed. Additional storage above it. Again, Outlaw does a really good job on trying to figure out every little nook and cranny that we can put some additional storage. Instead of it being straight across, we kind of opted for a little bit of some angles to it. I think it gives it's a little more aesthetically pleasing than just the flat surface itself. And then again, you see that Cayman kind of work throughout, whether it's on the slide, above the windows, anything there. So compared to the last one we did, here's another thing. This is a 40-inch flat screen TV. So let's talk about that. This is a Wi-Fi capable trailer. So we have the Wi-Fi capability here. You get a SIM card, usually through your cell phone provider. You can plug that in. You can run Wi-Fi. These are smart TVs as well, so you can stream. A lot of streaming has become, really popular over the last couple of years. So both these TVs have that capability. And also that Wi-Fi capable will boost it. So if you get to a campgrounds or somewhere like that that has Wi-Fi, it'll actually improve the actual performance of it itself. So 40-inch flat screen TV, some additional storage, and then as you can see, me and Jody, we got the fire going in here today, staying nice and warm. It's a little cool this morning. This is something our sales team kind of pushed, said, hey, let's throw a fireplace in this one. And we said, okay. When we first were drawing it up, we didn't like how tight this area was right here. We had a 90-degree at this counter and cabinet space, so we actually put an angle to it. It flows really well. It opens it up. It's not as tight as what it appeared in the drawing. Very easy to walk through here. So that was an upgrade we did there. And then let's jump in to the bathroom itself. So another pocket door. So again, we're not having to work around, any doors themselves that slide, go one way or the other. We've got the ability to go ahead and lock that guy in, but it slides. So again, we're not having to work around the trailer itself. And then we'll get into this bathroom area here, because there's a lot going on in here. We did not do a walk-through door on this trailer. We wanted more counter space. So as you can see, I'll kind of step here in this closet. Look how much counter space is right in here. Nice, big, deep sink. Again, we wanted to put some emphasis on that. And then this bathroom vanity, you have the dual doors. Then you have an additional one over here. So you have a lot of storage space in here. We also have pull-out drawers. So between the counter space, all of this, there's so much storage in here. You have a radius shower with a skylight. And there's one thing I want to show you in there. This is something else we wanted to do. And this actually came from the girls on the sales team. They said, hey, we want some benches in here. So if you need to shave your legs or just put stuff up there, hey, you got that capability to have that bench in there. So that's one thing that when we were talking with Outlaw, we said, you guys got to do this for us. How do we figure it out? How do we make it happen? And they did a good job of that. But again, that skylight just gives you some natural lighting, a little bit more headroom as well. And then directly above us, we have a power vent. Then you have a nice big kind of walk-in closet right here. It's got a pocket door as well, so again, we're not having to swing around anything. We put some shelves in there for some additional storage. You see dual clothes rods. That box back there, that's additional housing for that other furnace in there. But that's a big closet. You can take a lot of stuff with you. Why not have a big closet if you've got a big trailer like this? And then I'll show you as we're leaving the bathroom here, one more kind of a nice linen closet right here. Right here at the corner. Again, we kind of put it on an angle. So again, it doesn't interfere. You can flow through this bathroom really easy and then head out. So again, very cool living quarters setup. Again, a 17.9 short wall with a slide. We've incorporated a lot of stuff on here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything in here for you. As you step out of the living quarters, you're also going to be doing some outside entertaining. You'll notice that is a massive awning there. that is an electric awning as well. So it's real easy to operate. You just push a button to extend it, push a button to retract it. Simple as that. It locks into place. You know, electric awnings and manual awnings are very close in a price point. So we opt to go that direction on all these trailers nowadays. Even on like our Pro line by Outlaw, you know, we prefer to go ahead and put the electric on those as well. There actually is a awning light, a strip light of LEDs underneath there as well. So you have your porch light, then you have those, so it's a great place to sit out here and entertain. You've got your exterior speakers, we've got an exterior plug, we've got exterior courtesy lights. So again, just kind of dresses the trailer up, but again, gives you a nice comfortable place to sit out here. And with that, I believe that's a 20-foot awning because we have a 17.9 you know, short wall. So usually we have a 4-foot offset. So I'm thinking that's right around 21 foot of awning right there. I apologize, I did not check that on that. I knew we just said put as big as you can, and they did. So that's really cool right there. We'll take kind of a look at this because I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. So I've got drop windows down on the butt side. We've got this rear side load opened up with the door, triple axle, and then an integrated pod. So the integrated pods have become extremely popular. You know, it gives it a nice clean look, kind of like that enclosed front end. It just kind of sleeks up the trailer itself. Again, it's really aesthetically pleasing in my opinion, the way it's set up and the way it looks and how it's finished. And then those drop windows, you know, up here in Colorado, we don't have quite the humidity and quite that heat in the summertime, but we understand. We didn't want to isolate and say, well, just because we're up north, that we still want to appeal to your customers, you know, down south. So that's one thing that we got a lot of calls on, is saying, hey, if you don't have drops on the tail side, you know, we're not interested. It's not the trailer for me. So we've gone in and done that on quite a few of our living quarters trailers. This one here is on every single stall, even in the escape door here on this back side that you're going to load on. That will actually drop down as well, so we can create a lot of airflow. This is a simple little upgrade that we've done, but this is kind of something that we've done here at Transwest over the last year and a half or so, is that amber turn signal. It's a real simple upgrade that we do when we do the actual spec sheet, but this is a big trailer, and big trailers, and a lot of people that aren't familiar with trailers, they don't really pay attention to trailers, unfortunately. So this guy right here, as you can see, it's lit up. We have all our marker lights on, so it works as an additional marker light for you. It's big. It also will indicate when your right blinker's on, when your left blinker's on, when you hit your brakes. It'll indicate all those. So again, if you got somebody that's kind of hanging at the back bumper, maybe they can't see your back tail lights and you want to turn on your signal, you hit this. It's a little bit kind of more center of the trailer, just kind of saying, hey, I would like to get over, can you help me out a little bit here? Or, I am going to be coming over. But that's something we do on our big living quarters, 8-foot wide trailers, anything like that. So let's look at these and talk about these 3 axles. So 3 8,000-pound air ride axles. They're also equipped with electric over hydraulic disc brakes, so really good stopping power, really responsive. 17.5-inch wheels and big heavy-duty 18-ply Continental tires. So real good running gear underneath this size of a trailer. You'll also notice the green tabs on the tires themselves. They're nitrogen filled. That means PSI levels won't fluctuate drastically. Cold temperatures, hot temperatures, you know, just differing degrees that will have effect on normal air and normal tires. We're not having that when they're nitrogen filled. If you have an issue and you have to put air to it, you're perfectly fine. You can do that. It's not like you have to go find nitrogen right then and there. Now, with that being said, if once you do put air to it and there's a slow leak, you get that fixed, you can request that, hey, we would like to have air put to there, or nitrogen put back in that tire. A lot of tire shops can do that. And then also they're balanced as well. But real heavy duty running gear, you know, really good braking power, you know, really good setup right there. This triple axle on these big trailers, you know, it really helps the way that this trailer, you know, goes down the road itself. We take off some tongue weight, but then there's always some give and take. So stick with us. When we get to the other side of the trailer, I'm going to talk about how, you know, one of the drawbacks on a triple axle is turning radius, putting more stress on sidewall of tires, the hubs themselves, the axles. When you get into tight situations to crank these around, that's the downfall of a triple axle. But bear with us, I'm going to show you something really cool that only Transwest does that's going to help with that. But again, it's just going to help the ride for the horses. You incorporate air ride suspension, triple axle. This is a great ride for the trailer. Air ride does make a massive difference in the overall ride for these animals. We spend a lot of time and money on them. Let's give them the best ability. A lot of trainers will tell you that, hey, I can take a day off, maybe 2 days off the front end of a trip because of recovery time. We're not having that shock, to the joints on horses. Who knows? It's probably hard to even put a dollar amount to or really figure out how to do it. But what does it do from an overall just health standpoint of the horses? Maybe we're not spending much on vet bills because we're taking away a lot of that road shock itself. And Dexter has done some testing on that to prove it. 52% of the road shock has been taken away by air ride suspension. So it is a massive difference there. So right now I have the trailer aired up. So you'll notice the gap between the wheel well and the tire. If I dump the air on this, it'll lower it about 2.5 inches. So everything's a little bit lower to the ground. So in my opinion, and what I suggest is when you're loading and unloading your horses, have this trailer dumped, because the trailer's lower to the ground. This ramp isn't as steep either because we've changed the angle of it. So again, it's just a lot lower to the ground. Again, making it easy coming on and off this trailer itself for the horses. So there's our ramp down. Again, we've got this side access door down, getting into this back stall area. This very first stall is a little bit wider. It's 48 inches. We do that because, again, we're trying to get horses, coming in from the side, backing off this trailer itself. So we wanted a little bit more width to it to give them the ability to make that transition. There's one other thing I want you to notice. I've got this divider open. You see your wheel well. It's not a huge gap right here to get a horse to kind of turn. Coming in isn't as big of a deal, because again, they can kind of position the front of their body a little bit easier than that back hip. But as you're coming off this, trying to get them to turn and come off is a little bit trickier. So we've done something here on this back divider. We've made it a breakover divider. And when it breaks over like that, now look at that opening. Now it's real easy to kind of get a horse backing up and be able to get their shoulder up here and get them turning off. And then when you're loading too, it gives them a little bit more room as well. But this really helps with the ability to, load and unload your horses, giving them a little bit more room. I'll get these dividers open for you. You can see this whole stall area here. So we have airflow dividers, padded dividers, even the head grills are airflow. Some customers want their head grills maybe to be solid. Well, it's a lot easier to go from airflow, putting a plate over it and making that solid for you rather than cutting out a solid and making it airflow. So that's kind of why we went that direction there. But when you incorporate these airflows or drop-down windows on the tail side, an insulated roof, boy, it creates a lot of airflow, keeping horses nice and comfortable in here. With it being the integrated pod, you'll notice that this is capped with the aluminum sheeting. You still have Cimarron's insulated roof that's standard on every single trailer, but this is line and insulated. Line and insulate will make a massive difference in overall stall temperature. About 20%, and we've done some testing here on the lot with actually putting thermometers in sealed up trailers, Cimarron versus other competitors with aluminum sheeted roofs, and it will stay that much cooler. So think about now when we incorporate drop windows and some airflow through here, boy, it's going to keep horses nice and comfortable, in transit when you're transporting them. Cimarron does everything, really smooth. No 90-degree angles. We want, taper on everything, whether it's taper on these wheel wells on the top side, on the back side, these flush wall mount divider latches as well. Real simple to use. Safe for you, safe for the horse. We're not having to hold a divider in place, dropping a pin in. This is a powder coated aluminum cast piece here. with a heavy UHMW plastic paddle latch. So we don't have metal to metal contact, creating a lot of rattle going down the road. Again, for the horses, keeping them more comfortable. But again, real simple to use. Again, flush mount, so everything's nice and smooth. Even the dividers, everything on the divider is smooth. The top pieces, even on these jail bars, a lot of manufacturers will actually not have any radius to these you know, smaller tubes for the airflow. So you have your stud divider at one, so you can use it for, you know, a problem child horse or somebody needs to be a little bit more separated, secluded off from everyone else, or additional storage. So I'll show you a little bit more about that when we get to the outside of that access door, because we've done something there as well. But again, real simple stall area to use. That breakover divider, you saw how quick and easy that is. The springs hold all these dividers open. We're actually tipped towards the passenger side of this trailer, but everything's up against those mangers because of those big springs. I'm not having to hold the divider open trying to get a horse on or off. So that's a really cool feature as well. The other thing is, everybody hates pulling stall mats. I am one of them. I got to wash out a lot of the trailers as a kid, and pulling the mats was never fun. It's like wrestling an alligator. And now, instead of us being able to load and offload the back of the trailer, just dragging mats straight out, we've got this other angle that we have to deal with too. So on these trailers, we said, the heck with that, let's go ahead and put worm flooring in there. It's a permanent, unpenetrable rubber mat. Some people don't put any bedding down, some people do. That's kind of a personal preference there. It's got a lot of grip to it, but now we're also not allowing that urine to get down there to the floor, down to that aluminum, you know, that could cause some corrosion or some cracks or holes or things like that, because you do need to maintain these aluminum trailers by pulling mats, power washing them out. But this is real simple. Nose this trailer up a little bit so you have that natural you know, angle backwards, hop in through the access door and power wash this out. Real simple to do, but such a cool little setup back here as far as that's concerned. So that gives you a good look at the load there. You'll notice we put load lights. We put a load light directly above the door, a 16-inch awning light that shoots down and out, and then there's another one over stall number 2 right there. So if you're tying out over here, it gives you a lot of light coverage on this side of the trailer. So let's check out something also really cool. This has become so popular. Everybody loves a full width rear tack because you have so much storage. On this one here, we opted for dual 50/50 doors. Sometimes we'll do a single door. It's just kind of a personal preference. We just try to kind of mix it up from an inventory standpoint. But your dual 50/50 doors are carpeted. Your left-hand doors, we're looking at it, has 4-tier blanket pole rack. It's on a gas shock, so it'll swing as well. And then you have a brush tray for some storage. So again, it swings out real easy. Then over to our right-hand side, you'll notice a 4-tier saddle rack right there that swung out. We can adjust those as well. We carpeted everything, so the doors, the inside, because the last thing we want is your real expensive tack rubbing against an aluminum sheet, you know, doing damage to it, scratching up the trailer. Also, our horse is on the other side of that wall, so we don't want to create more noise. So we really like all the carpet from that standpoint. We try to give you a lot of hooks, so you see 2 rows of hooks there. And then we put 2 shelves on the left-hand side for some additional storage. They've got lips to them. They're nice and deep. We never have enough storage in these. You know, over here on this left-hand wall as well, we kind of left this a little bit blank. I mean, this would be a great place if you wanted to go ahead and put a water tank in there. Some additional hooks could be added. Again, try to give you the flexibility there on kind of what you'd want to do as far as that's concerned. I'll swing this in. There's also 2 lights in here. So 2 more of those 16-inch awning lights are actually located in the tack room. So again, a lot of light coverage in there as well. And one other thing that we did is we went ahead and put a location in the floor and the ceiling. So if you wanted to add an additional saddle rack, the hardware's there. As you can see, it doesn't interfere. It's flush with the rubber mats on here. It's up out of the way on the ceiling. But if you ever wanted to add an additional saddle rack or anything like that, additional blanket poles, some customers have done some actual like turnout blanket bars, a little bit longer setup. We've done something there as well, so you can incorporate that as well on this trailer. And then the steps. The rear steps are so cool. We try to incorporate steps on access points into the trailer because, you know, it's a lot simpler. It's not as big of a step up when you're dealing with those. A lot easier getting in and out of the trailer itself. Then you'll notice this ladder. That is an easy angle ladder, so I can grab it and extend it and go on a vertical up there to that pod area and our generator area. It's a lot simpler than a bolt-on where you're going straight up the side of the trailer. So our pod access is at the back. It used to be dead center. Cimarron, it always got kind of blocked, some of that entrance getting into that pod because of the generator box. So Cimarron's offset it. So again, just thinking about how it's going to flow. So it's real easy to access getting in there. Our generator's actually been running this whole time. Not sure if the audio has picked it up or not. You know, that is a quiet Onan 7000 gas generator because we have 50 amp service with those dual ACs on this trailer because of the size of it. But you can see that housing over to the right. It's out of the way. We put an additional kind of just safety fence right there, a gate. You can actually unpin it and swing out so you can access everything up there. But it just gives it a little bit more of a sense of security when you are up there by having that gate going across the back. It's not just completely open. So again, real simple to store that ladder out of the way. We have switches on each side of this back because we have so many lights on this, stall lights, tack lights, you know, load lights. We went ahead and kind of did them on each side. Here's another little upgrade that we're doing on some of these bigger trailers. We understand that these trailers are big and long. You put it reverse in your pickup, well, your pickup's way up there. So we've gone in and added backup lights to all these bigger trailers that we're doing in inventory right now. Because, hey, we understand that you're gonna get somewhere late at night and it's gonna be dark. Let's give you the ability to see something, just throw it in reverse and that guy's gonna light up. So that's a real small upgrade we've done, but we feel it has a lot of merit when we're putting these trailers together. There's a good look at all those drop down windows. You have the jail bars, so they're real easy. All I have to do is lift this up, find that sweet spot, and that jail bar will come down as well. If you want screens for these, that's another thing that can be added after the fact. We can get that through our parts department. Nice solid seal on these. That is massive framework around these drop windows. The welds are phenomenal, and then top it off with welded hinges with greasers. So extremely easy to maintain as well. You know, you can do that with a grease gun. If something gets a little squeaky, grab a grease gun, put it in there, open and close it a few times. You know, a lot of other competitors will have a welded hinge, but they don't have the grease zerks to it. So it's a lot harder getting grease in there to those. And then you've got your mangers. I'm gonna go ahead and get the escape door out of the way here for a second. So as you can see, we've got 3 manger doors. So again, a lot of storage capability on this trailer. And located directly behind that is our fuel fill for that 7000 Onan gas generator. So again, everything's on left side, so it's easier at the pumps when you're fueling up your pickup to pull up, put gas in that as well. In this access door, we built the manger in the first one here for you. Again, a lot of storage gets lost when you don't do this on the first door. And again, then you got to figure out whether it's a corner feed bag in that first stall for that first horse if you want. But we've gone in and done that. So as you can see, it just swings out on the door itself. Everything clears. It flows really, really well. And you don't get skimped out of your drop window. There's an actual drop window in this first one as well. So as you can see, it just really sets up nice. Again, fold up step, another access point. Maybe you want to use that as just additional storage as you're traveling with that stud divider right there. So it's real easy to be able to access that stuff right in there. So we've talked a little bit about this triple axle air ride. Again, the pros are it pulls so much better. We distribute the weight more evenly. The downside is when you go to turn in to real tight areas, again, we're putting more stress on wheels and axles and things like that, to where, we have to be a little bit more cautious and figure out where we're going to be turning. Asphalt's kind of the worst, because it gets so hot, it just the tires kind of dig into it when you're turning around in the summer months. But there's a couple things that we've done. We've actually gone in, this is something Transwest does, is we've added an air dump to our back axle. So what we do is we can dump the air out of that back axle. Now it's not physically going to pick it up off the ground, but what it's doing is it's transferring the weight to axles 2 and 3, or 1 and 2 off of the third axle, and it also moves that pivot point up. So right now our pivot point's that center axle. We've actually moved that forward a little bit. So what I can do is I can dump the air in that back axle. That wheels, they're basically going to skate is what they're going to do on the asphalt or dirt or anything like that. But what we do is we've actually gone in, we put a remote. So you can be in the pickup doing this. And then you see this indicator light right here. It's off right now. We have air to all 3 axles. But if I hit this and I turn it on, you see that light turn on. Well, what it's actually doing is we're actually pulling air from the back axle. Again, moving our pivot point forward and moving the weight to these first 2 axles. So now I can turn this big 37 plus foot on the floor trailer, triple axle trailer, and I can turn it more like a tandem axle. So again, that's something that Transwest does exclusively. Again, you really can't, you can just kind of see the gap between the back axle and that back wheel well change just a little bit. But again, we're moving it forward. Again, it's real simple to use. This is more for turning into places, turning around in places. You have to be cautious of this. I mean, you got to operate it properly, because what happens is now if we're going down the road and we're doing 80 miles per hour and we have our weight at our first 2 axles and you hit the brakes, well, there's no resistance on that back one. So it can grab that back tire and flat spot a tire pretty quick. So again, it's more of you turning around in tight parking lots, turning in somewhere really tight, anything like that. I messed with it the other day when I went to get a weight on this trailer. That place I go to is a little bit tight on that certified scale. So it's really easy for me to try it out right from the pickup, turn it on. Man, I could whip that trailer around really easy. You'll also notice on a triple axle a lot of tire scrub when you're turning it around because of how much pressure we're putting on different tires when we're turning it around. When we do this setup here and we go to turn it around, you hardly notice any tire scrub, and that's because we've moved that transition point, and the weight forward on those 2 axles, taking that off that back one. And then it's real simple. I just turn it off, light goes off, and actually our compressor will kick back on, because now it's pushing air back there to that back axle as well, going ahead and filling it back up. But the reason why we put that indicator light where it's at and use the big one is because with this remote, you can be sitting in the driver's seat, look down your mirror, and be able to notice that. So again, that's something exclusively that Transwest has done over the last couple of years on these triple axles. Even if we get some trailers back in, maybe on trade, that we weren't doing that, that's one of the very first things that we do is we go back in and add that air dump to it. So really cool feature, really cool trailer, big trailer. I hope we didn't miss anything. Again, it's got a lot of stuff on it, but a really cool setup. Again, a 2020 Cimarron Norstar 4-horse living quarters, 17.9 Outlaw conversion with slide, triple axle air ride, integrated pod, air dump. You can only get that at Transwest, but just a cool trailer. I'm going to give you the stock number for reference of it. It is 5N210209. if you are interested in this type of a setup, this trailer, do not wait long. There are price increases that are already in place to where when we reorder this trailer, it's going to go up substantially. So we had ordered this, long enough back before those things started to happen, but it takes a while to build a trailer. So there's some great savings on this trailer right here today compared to what's coming down the road. If you're interested in this, if you're interested in some other inventory that we have available on order, if you're looking to custom order a trailer, we can help you out with that. We can incorporate a lot of this cool stuff. You can put your own flair on it. We'll take you down, we'll meet you down there at Outlaw, walk you through the plant, and you can pick out colors yourself if you want to go a custom route. But give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.